And I'm so delighted to welcome to stage Chrissy Williams and Claire Chandler, and they will be joined by Movable Inc.'s Becky Francis. Welcome to the stage.
Right, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining the session today. My name's Becky. I'm the Senior Director of Retail Strategy at Movable Inc., and I'm very excited to be sharing the stage today with Claire and Chrissy from Currys. Now, if you joined us at Think Summit back in 2024, you may well remember that the Currys team took the stage back then too. And at that moment in time, you were just about to embark on a pilot of Da Vinci. Fast forward 12 months, and it's fair to say quite a lot has happened since then. So in today's session, we're going to be recapping that year-long journey, and Claire and Chrissy are going to be sharing more about the highs, the hurdles, and the learnings throughout. So please join me in welcoming Claire and Chrissy. Thank you very much, both of you, for being here. Let's start with some introductions. Claire, I'm going to come to you first.
Good morning, everyone. Nice to be here. I'm Claire Chandler. I'm Senior CRM Manager at Currys. I've been with Currys for nearly 2 years. Prior to that, 20 plus years in CRM, loyalty, retail. So excited to come and share the story with you today.
And good morning, everyone. I'm Chrissy. I am a commercial and customer marketeer. And like Claire, I've been around in the industry for a very long time, approaching 25 years anniversary. At Currys, I spent the last 2.5 years heading up the CRM, loyalty and personalization team. And delighted to be here on the stage again, a year later, sharing our journey.
Yeah, very excited to have you here. So as I mentioned, almost a year to the day, you were about to launch the pilot. I wonder if you can cast your minds back to that moment in time. How are you feeling? What were your hopes and expectations that Da Vinci would unlock for you?
My feelings were, to be absolutely blunt with you, lots of nerves, lots of butterflies, very, very, very nervous because we were embarking on something we hadn't done before. It was unknown. We were one of the first in the markets in the UK. So there was definitely a lot of nerves, but also excitement to trial something new and do something different.
Yeah.
But in terms of expectations, we had high expectations. I always set the bar high for my team and myself. And really what we wanted to enable with the help of Da Vinci was moving away from having one email where we tried to fit absolutely everything in that the wider business wanted to feature at a particular time or day in the calendar month. So what we want to do is actually have an opportunity to create much more content, work with every single category and subcategory in the business, but let Da Vinci and AI choose what content we send to what customers when, and therefore be much more customer-centric and much more tailored in the emails we send to our customers. So that was really important to us. Secondly, we really want to empower our teams with self-serving. The approach we took in developing email was not fit for purpose. I've used the word criminal to people before, because it took 3 weeks from brief to go to market, which in retail is an eternity. I see a few people laughing / smiling. That might still be your reality now, and I feel for you because you don't always have the right tool to move at the pace the business would like you to move. So with Da Vinci, we really wanted to find a way to fast track that. And I'm really, really proud to say that we can turn an email around in 48 hours. And actually, I have one member of my team sitting here that managed to turn around the latest Apple iPhone launch, I believe, in 24 hours, if I remember correctly. So yes, we're definitely working faster than ever before. And last but not least, what we want to do was ensuring that the creative we worked so hard to deliver was used more than once. It felt like such a waste having spent all that time. You send it off once, if you're lucky, you get 30 to 40% open rate, and you never use the email again. So actually having the tools and the opportunity to work on something and let it be used multiple times over a longer period was really appealing to us. And underpinning all of this, of course, as a commercial leader, is revenue growth. We want to really boost our numbers, and by doing so, improve the customer engagement in our emails. So yeah, we had a lot of expectations. We had many clear KPIs, and we took a big leap of faith together.
Yeah, absolutely. So very good clarity on the KPIs. We embarked on the pilot mid-October time, and we ran for about 6 weeks, which is bold timing, to say the least. Can you reflect on some of the key learnings from that pilot period specifically?
My number one learning is please don't run a 6-week pilot during peak. It was mental. It was fun. but it was very, very hard work on the team. And looking back, I'm so in awe that I've actually managed to pull it off together. But I wouldn't recommend that, because my key learning is it takes so much longer to change processes and ways of working and developing different creative than you think you will. So if you're like me and you're a time optimist, please double the timings that you have in your mind in terms of how quickly you can go to market with a pilot. So that was my key learning. And I think the other one that we did is, because it does take time, it is a complete different mindset, complete different way of working and thinking. And you're learning as you go, because it hasn't been done before. So having a dedicated pilot squad is very, very important, because driving innovation of this scale on top of your day-to-day job and BAU is incredibly difficult. And I'd be very interested to hear if anyone else has managed to do that. But we definitely had a separate squad for the pilot, purely working 100% on go live, being ready. And that was, I think, fundamental to our success in being able to turn the pilot around as quickly as we did, as successfully as we did.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about results, because that's obviously what we're all here for. And I think all of that, monumental effort throughout a very busy peak season feels very worth it when you look at the numbers you were able to drive. So do you want to talk us through these and the reaction in the broader business?
Yes, so I think the numbers speak for themselves. I'm not going to read them out. I'm incredibly proud what the team managed to deliver and what we achieved in that short period. The approach we took was that we maintained 50% of our activity, as we call it, BAU. So that was the business lecture, quarterly planning process, marketing calendar. It was during peak. We made commitments to our suppliers, and it was too risky to just try something completely new. We weren't that risk. We weren't willing to take so much of a risk to put everything on the line. So we did 50% control and 50% Da Vinci AI-generated content and personalization. And despite that, we saw statistical results, and we smashed every single KPI and target we had and actually over-delivered. So that was incredibly satisfying and rewarding, and a bloody relief, to be honest with you, because there was a huge leap of faith given to us from the business to do something like this at this time of year with the timelines we had. So it was really, really nice to actually say, look, we did it. It's going really well. Yeah. And in fact, the reaction was so positive, and the praise the team got was absolutely brilliant as well. Everyone was really impressed with how quickly the team managed to adapt and pivot, and we were changing nearly on a daily basis. We're learning new things, and it was a privilege to watch from the sidelines, even though I was down in the trenches with you most of the time, I promise. But yes, the business was so impressed that they asked us if we were willing to accept a challenge, which was, instead of a 3-month roll-up period, could you roll out quicker, because the numbers speak for themselves, and it'd be great to bank some of that revenue uplift a bit sooner. And those who know me, I never say no to a challenge. I like taking a risk or two. So I said, yeah, why don't we do it in 3 weeks? That'd be great. So I set the brilliant challenge to Claire and my lovely team to don't take 3 months to roll this out. Let's do it in 3 weeks. If anyone can do it, it's us. And we did. And I will just end by saying that it wouldn't have been possible without the great support from Movable Inc. I haven't been asked to say that. I genuinely mean it. And because of my brilliant team, I have such an innovative and good team that is really, really adapting to change. They have a growth mindset. They're willing to try new stuff. They trust us. They trust me. We trust each other. And yeah, it's been a journey. It was rocky and patchy at times. We got through it together, and I'm really, really proud of what we achieved.
As you should be. Claire, I'm going to come to you, because that 3-week expedited rollout timeline was a baton that was handed to you. It was a bit frenetic. Of the year.
It was a bit frenetic, yeah, for sure. Thanks, Chrissy. Yeah, we were really up against it, and we didn't make it easy for ourselves, because why would we? So new processes, new tools, upskilling the team, bringing the pilot team within the trade team, who had been kept very, very separate to this point, concentrating on trade for good reason. So how do you embed those skills and get the team really quickly accelerated up to the point of handover? But I think the mindset as well, in terms of 12 to 16 emails we were doing a month, suddenly we needed 80 to 100 assets living in the creative library. So that was a massive upscale, all hands to the deck, to make sure that library was really full of the best content that we could deliver to our customers.
Yeah, absolutely. And a key objective, you touched on it there, around processes and workflow, one of the key objectives throughout this has been time to market reduction.
Yeah.
Could you talk to us a little bit about how your workflow looks now and how that's different to a pre-Da Vinci world?
Yeah, so Chrissy mentioned 3 weeks to turn around an email in the traditional way of working, but Da Vinci gave us a chance to sort of rip up and start again. So the workflow was re-looked at. We had so many handoffs to third parties in the old way of working that really we took 20 steps out of that and made it far leaner and streamlined it for the team, which meant we could turn around content much quicker. I think from this visual, you can see that, you know, the traditional on the left versus the breadth that we had in the library enabled us to think not only about deals, promotions, offers, but about content that could live long on beyond the life of a deal, or a brand piece that really explained to the customer what the product features were, etc. So suddenly our minds were much more open to content than we could allow in the older way of the pre-Da Vinci way of working.
Yep.
So we've got different team members, different roles and responsibilities within the team. So we have a librarian in the team whose role is to look after the library, make sure it's full of the right assets, reflecting the business needs, but also looking at performance as well.
Yeah. On the note of performance, that was another key goal, to make sure that we were able to really understand what was working from a creative perspective, how your customer base was responding to this new approach. We've got a couple of examples of insights that we were able to glean throughout this. Could you walk us through this first one?
Yeah, so this is a typical promotional email promoting discount codes, much loved by our audience. On the left-hand side, you would see that we would typically send that, or we sent it in this instance, to 2.1 million customers. That was us pushing it out to customer, compared to the Da Vinci version, which allowed, beyond a one-day send, it to drip, drip, drip to the right customer at the right time. So the key change really is that it sent less emails than the way we would have marketed to, which means that's a saved contact. That means this message wasn't right for that customer, but it can get another message. So we're saving contacts, but actually the proof of it is really the engagement stats that really jumped up. So click rate, nearly 3 times higher, conversion rate, 1.2, and the revenue figures speak for themselves. So just that evidence that we don't need to send the same piece to the customers, you know, all the time in the more traditional way of working. Let the AI choose the ones that it should send to on that day.
Absolutely. And I think what strikes me about this one as well is evidence that you don't need to send discount codes to every customer, and that actually there might be pockets of your audience that are primed for a full price message that day, which is obviously better for everyone. We've got another creative insight on this next slide. Could you walk us through this one?
Yeah, so Da Vinci has a reporting tool which allows you to monitor the library performance, and they call it a creative effectiveness score. And I think what's really interesting is it's the first time that you can compare creatives within your own library against one another. You can look at it by category as well and look for some benchmarks. In this example, what it's showing us is the score over 1 is it's performing okay on open rates. It's overperforming on click effectiveness, so it's getting the right click, but the conversion is subpar, so that needs work and attention to it. It's a below 1 score. That means for my team, they could then look at that and work out, is it the call to action? Is it the on-site journey? And make changes real time. So before, that would have been a learning from a creative that had gone out the door to apply to something in the future, but you could actually make a change instantaneously and then look to see what the result is because you've made that change. Yeah,
absolutely. We've talked a lot about content personalisation so far, and that was really kind of the first 6 months or so of our working relationship together. We didn't rest on our laurels, of course. We rolled out multiple other AI models about 6 months in. So could you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so Da Vinci's a bit like an onion. It's just layer upon layer. It just keeps giving. So every training session, you know, there was more to learn. We're like, hang on a minute, you know, we're just getting to this, you know, but no, come on, push, push. So the models that were put in front of us was subject line personalisation. So rather than send everyone the same email with the same subject line, by feeding the tool with variants, it could offer that and test it against the control. And we saw fantastic uplifts from that. So 11% uplift in click rates and 18% in revenue percent. So that was a massive tick. You know, the AI tool was effectively finding better ways to serve that email with a tailored subject line to a customer. Then we looked at subject line generation, and the two go sort of hand in hand. So typically the team would do three subject lines per email, and the tool would rotate through that. But actually, a few click of a button, you could have 10 variants. And the more it has, the more it can refine and learn which it should send to the customer. So that actually helps your personalization in time. So as I say, the two work hand in hand. And then lastly, send time optimization. Really difficult to do in our traditional way of working, to timestamp all of the emails. But the tool allowed us to send and learn which emails should be sent to which customers at a different time of send. So we typically send at 8 a.m., but that's not right for everybody. And based on click data and open data, we could see that actually some customers might prefer it in the evening than the morning. So that again saw really good engagement rate, so 7% uplift in click rate and a 15% revenue per send. So those just have enabled us to refine even more and add more and more into the pipe.
Yeah, and those increments of revenue keep stacking up, don't they?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the future. If we were 12 months ahead and we're on stage at Think Summit 2026, what would you like to be talking about? What achievements would you like to have accomplished over that time?
The first one I would love to be able to deliver is Vinci for triggers. Behavioral triggers and lifecycle triggers, and actually having one personalization AI tool that manages to put real customer centricity and takes away the manual clash management and kind of lost the word now, I'm so sorry, but the
air traffic control.
Air traffic control,
Yeah.
exactly, be absolutely fantastic from a customer point of view, from a contact rules point of view, to actually let the AI use data we know about that customer to tailor what's the best message. So is it a life cycle trigger because they've done something? Is it a product trigger because something's happened with purchase? Or is it a trading one because it's a new promo running right now? That would be absolutely fantastic. Secondly, I really want us to embrace AI and automation even further. It has made a huge impact on our team in terms of effectiveness and also unlocking time to do things we didn't have time before, which is actually looking at the creative, looking at emails, the content, to learn what's working, what's not working, how we're going to tailor our approach and strategy going forward. And I really like us to find more ways to work smarter, not harder, because with more insight, with more data comes more opportunity. So how can we really take even more manual intervention and manual fine-tuning away from the team on the ground and let AI and automation help us? That's a big one for me. So I think we're only scratching the surface on that.
Yeah, totally. Final question, and I'm going to come to you both individually for this one. What advice would you give to anyone in the room who's potentially thinking about rolling out Da Vinci or even embarking on any kind of innovation, transformation of this kind of magnitude? I'm going to come to you first, Claire.
Really strong KPIs, be really clear right from the outset what your KPIs are and what you're going to hold up success to look like would be my number one obvious point. But the second one, I think, is it's not just a tool and a tech product. It's a completely different way of working. That influences tools, processes, teams. And I think the stakeholder management piece in that is absolutely critical. Yeah. So teams really happy to get involved in pilot. Yep, crack on, come back when you've got some results. When you go back with the results and you say, now we're going live, they're like, hang on a minute. What does this mean to my sales pack? How am I going to do this? So that took quite a heavy lift in terms of taking them through those step and gateway points. So I would say just keep them close, keep dialoguing, wait till you've got your results, but keep refining what it means to them, because they only really listen at that point. They don't care too much before that point.
Yeah, absolutely. And Chrissy?
For me, it's choose your sponsor carefully if you have the luxury, because you really need an advocate and somebody who trusts and believes in you, because you learn as you go. You don't know how it's going to work. You don't know what's going to be different. You don't know what the high and lows are going to be until you're actually in it and doing it. So if you are able to choose your sponsor, please do so carefully, because having somebody who trusts you, empowers you, and supports you if and when needed with other senior stakeholders and with the board, etc., is pivotal. And we were very lucky to have that at Currys, but That would be my main advice. And of course, have fun. It's such an exciting opportunity, and it's not many times in your career you get to work on an opportunity to transformation, innovation of this scale. So just enjoy it. It's going to be messy. It's going to be unorganized. It's going to be chaotic. But it's going to be bloody fun. So just embrace it, have fun, keep the positivity, and just keep your eye on the long game and the price at the end of the journey. Yeah. Just enjoy it.
Love it. Great note to end on. Thank you both so much for joining us and sharing your story. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of Think Summit.
Thank you.